Hey guys, welcome back to Market Watch. What an awesome week in the markets it's been here, with the Bank of England not changing rates this week, S&P 500 making all-time highs, and the US dollar looking like it's going to be breaking out of its consolidation on the DXY. It's been a little bit of a slow week for the US dollar here in the DXY, but we did close above our downward sloping trend line that we talked about last week. We can see that the last trading day we had actually closed above it, and now it looks like we're just kind of coming back here to retest. Let's take a look at the weekly chart, where we can see that we've got some bullish activity, and now the high test back in July, early July here, is now void, that we've been making highs above that. So a little bit of slow action moving coming into the elections here, but the big thing this week that we did get this close above. Now I'm just looking for continuation above the area of around 96.75. I want to see this continue to the upside, which is going to coincide with my euro dollar trade we were talking about last week. Taking a look now at the euro dollar on the daily chart, our bias from last week, as we can see, has been correct. We expected a pullback to the area of 1.1150 before seeing a further decline in the euro dollar. So since then, I have entered into a long-term sell position. My entry was at 1.1150, outlined as we were talking about last week and in the webinar on Wednesday. So my bias is still short here right now. We've seen that at the end of the week, we did have a very good close. We can see that we have this high test. We have a very good resistance at that area, 1.1150. So I'm still expecting a further decline, looking at taking out the lows at around 1.050. So let's take a look here now at our next currency pair. Taking a look now at the pound dollar on the daily chart, we can see that our bias of a little bit of a pullback was correct from last week. We've now kind of halted to an area of resistance at 1.3480 area, where we can see that after the Bank of England decided not to cut rates last week, we're having a further decline, as that was a little bit unexpected. So coming up to this area of this pullback, we had a strong rejection at the area of 1.3488, and I am predicting a further decline here within the pound, as the US dollar could also be gaining some strength here. So my bias is currently short, but knowing the volatility happening within the pound right now, I'm not looking at scaling into a position. Right now I'm a little bit farther away of having a good area of safety for my stop. Taking a look now at the euro pound on the daily chart, we can see that our bias from last week was correct, as we saw a further decline within the euro. We have found support at the area of about 0.8243, which coincides with our 0.382 fib level. But what I want to outline for you guys here right now is taking a look at the bigger picture. So you can see here at the last swing low at the area 0.8243, I have just drawn a single horizontal line. And what I want to do is I want to kind of look at the bigger picture and look back in time of how prices acted around the certain area that we just drew in our horizontal line here. So we can see that we've been having some rejections of support and some resistance. Even going back farther into 2012, it's acted as support over here in early January, and over here it's acted as resistance. So we can see that we're at a good area of value where the price is deciding to reject or have support off of. So what I want you guys to do here at the beginning of each week is take a look at the bigger picture and see what area of value we are at in the market. So because price has rejected off of this key level many times before, we want to take that into account of today's trading conditions. So my overall bias on the euro pound here is still short, but I do think we are going to have a little bit of a pull to the upside before we're going to have further decline in the euro pound here. Taking a look now at the dollar Swiss on the daily chart, we can see that price is being contained within this pattern of this upper and sloping trend line still that we talked about last week. We still have not had the breakout that I've been kind of waiting for here, but I want to show you guys here on the 4-hour chart how well price is being contained within these two trend lines. So we can see that price has been basically acting as a floor and ceiling with these trend lines, and price is just ready to burst here soon. So I'm just being calm and patient. I'm waiting to see which way the price is going to break out. I want to see a retest of the price action on either trend line here, and then I'll be looking at taking a longer term position. But until then, I'm just going to wait patiently until the market tells me which way it wants to go. Moving forward now to the dollar yen on the daily time frame, we can see that our bias from last week was correct, as we saw a further incline upwards to the area of 105.50. From here, I still am predicting a little bit of a further incline, but what I really want to point out to you guys is looking here at the weekly chart. We can see that we have this massive engulfing candle, which is extremely bullish. So my bias here for the meantime is still going to be a bullish dollar and a weaker yen. Looking at our last pair here, the US dollar and the Canadian dollar on the weekly chart, we can still see that we are still in consolidation between these upper and downward sloping trend lines. Let's look in closer here at the daily time frame, where we can see that we found support here at the bottom of our upward sloping trend line. Price is continuing to squeeze between these two ranges, and we are going to have a breakout here soon. So my bias for this week is just to be calm and wait for this. We want to wait for the breakout of either which direction that it's going to move, and then from there we want to be moving with the market. But right now, because we don't really have a clear direction of which way the price could travel, I am just going to be waiting calmly until I get that nice close above or below these upward sloping and downward sloping trend lines. I want to thank you guys here again for tuning in to another episode of Market Watch. We got some really great feedback from you guys last week, and you guys seem to be loving the new video format that we have here for you. Stay tuned this week on Wednesday, as we are going to unveil the Go Scanner software for you guys. On GoTV, we're going to show you exactly how it works and how you can use it to pick up on trades like you see here. The New Zealand dollar short here, which showed us how to enter in at the pivot where we should have our stop loss and our take profit. It's going to show you guys what your 1% risk is and exactly how many pips are from your entry to your take profits and stop losses. So stay tuned for this week, as we are going to get you guys all up and running on the Go Scanner software. Thanks again for participating in another episode of Market Watch. I hope you guys have a really good week. Stay safe within the markets, and we will talk to you here soon.